Hello everyone. Today we have with us my junior Nishant Raj. He's also from same college. He's like one of the most in touch junior I had, and very interested to continue the coding culture we had, and I became the Geek Service campus ambassador. And he has done very well in his placements and continuing to do so today. So today he's here with us to share with us his interview experience with Acolyte. Hi Nishant.
Hi, Shashank here. Hi everyone, I am Nishant. Currently, I am working as a client location in Morgan Stanley from Acolyte only. And currently, I am working on Pega, Angular, Java, Spring Boot, and from that, we all include some concepts of RDM adoption.
Okay, so you can head to the interview experience.
So basically, I think it started in previous year when I was in the month of July maybe. So Acolyte basically hires through Eduthrill platform. So on Eduthrill, what basically happens there is that you have to create an account, and then after you have to proceed to a portal where you will see multiple MCQs questions. You will have to give a lot of challenges. So in that challenge, you will have to qualify 20 MCQ rounds and each with a 60% of accuracy. If you will do that, then there are high chances that you will receive a coding link from Acolyte. I think as being a fresher or if a fresher is applying, that is the only portal through which you can apply. So from Edithrill you can proceed, and if you get a coding link, then you have to proceed towards the coding round. So in the coding round, as of I can remember, I got a question on graph. Okay. So it was a fairly bit of slow process where I got a coding round after 1 week. So in that there was a question of graph that was I think a coloring problem of graph. So I was able to solve it, and there were user test cases and there were I think one system test cases. Although even if the system test cases will pass, then only you will receive the call from Acolyte. So I was able to do that, and after that, it took me around I think 15 days to get a interview call from Acolyte. So the process was really slow, and then the interview started. I went through some of the interview experiences, and I observed a pattern like they were asking all DSA questions there. So, being on my first round of technical interview, the interviewer was really chill, and he gave me a question on stack, which was a normal kind of DSA question. After that, the interview proceeds towards the recursion. Like he asked me some questions on trees. He asked me about child some property of tree, and in the round you will have to share your screen and you will have to write the code. That was the requirement of the interviewer. So I wrote the function, and then after I traced for some of the test cases that he told me to trace. After that, there was again one question that he asked me on, I think, intersection point of Y-shaped linked list. This was the question as of I can remember. So till that point of time, 45 minutes were over, and after that, he saw my resume and he told like, I think you have solved a fair bit of questions. So I have a question for you. So solve that question in O of n time complexity and O of one space. So I was like, okay, like, so he pasted the question onto the Google Meet, and after that, I saw the question. I solved that question in O of n time complexity and O of n space also. So the question was like, you will be having an array, and there will be a range given. You will have to find the element which should not fall in that particular range. So basically, we do have a mathematical formula for it. So after that, I did it using set, and I took I think more 10 minutes, and then I did it in O of n time complexity and O of one space. So that was it. It went for around I think 60 to 60 minutes, 60-65 minutes. It went around, and after that, I was done. So yeah, and I think for few of the test cases, I was not able to trace it because he was trying to confuse me basically. Okay, he was giving some of the input output questions also, and he was trying to confuse me. but that I gave, I think, satisfactory answer. Okay, there were some of the questions, if I could remember, some on exception handling also. He asked me like which language you like, then I told like C++, but he told like in your resume there is Python also. So he asked me some questions on exception handling in Python, and after that, yeah, it was done. Then I think after 15 days, they gave the result. And then again, after 7 days, I got a call from Acolyte that you have cleared the technical round one, and we will be proceeding towards your technical round two. So I got the mail and it started. So in technical round two, I have a really a funny kind of experience, because I thought like um, uh, what they are going to ask mostly in technical round two, they will be focusing on projects. Then my interview started with projects. I but Most of the articles what I read, there was 70% of DSA and 30% of focus was on projects. So I thought like I will go with DSA only, because I had done fair bit of questions on DSA, and I was in touch of DSA. So I proceeded. Interview started and he told me like share your screen, and share your project also. And I told like I don't have my project in this laptop. I have to in my other laptop I will be having. So he told like that is totally fine. You can share the GitHub link here. Okay. So I thought like I had one project in my laptop, but it was incomplete. So I thought like I'll show that only. At least he will be satisfied. So I was sharing screen at the same point of time. The mood of the interviewer got changed, and he told like let's forget all that. Solve this TSA question. So he gave me a question on clone a linked list. Okay. So clone a linked list with next and random pointer. I think this is the question. Yeah. So he gave me that. So I solved that, and I solved that really quickly, because I did this question 15-20 days back itself. So he was impressed actually, and then after he asked me
So
one
you did
question
the
on.
optimal version of the solution with your constant space.
Yeah, I did that
Okay.
because I solved that question, maybe around 10 days back, and I was knowing
Mm,
that it is one of the important question of linked list. So he asked me
mm,
that, I coded it from scratch, and he was totally fine. After that, he asked me one question on trees, as of I can remember. He asked me about top view of the binary tree. Okay. So I again, I solved that question, because I was in constant touch of DSA, and these are some of the standard DSA questions that everyone knows, right? So I solved that, and after that he gave me one paragraph, and he told me like you have to count some of the occurrences of some of the characters which are there in the paragraph, and it was really easy. And I did that, and he asked me about some questions on DBMS OS semaphores, you know, some questions on fundamental CS concepts, and wanted to get a key insight on what I have done on my projects. So I explained him what basically I did. Since my DSA round went totally good, so he after some point of time he told like, I think you need to improve on your DSA, and then after he closed the interview, he didn't even allowed me to ask one question from him, because in at the last of the interview there are the interviewers have to ask like what you want to know about the organization, right? He didn't did that, and he told like your DSA is not DSA is not really perfect, so uh, that is all. And then after he closed the interview, and I was in constant touch of my friends, and you also, and many of the guys. I thought like my interview is done, and I'm not going to get the call. So after 7 days, I think 7 or 10 days, I again got a call from Acolyte, that I got a mail actually at 12 a.m. in the morning. Okay, at in night. So I got the mail that you have cleared your TR2. We will be proceeding with your HR round. Okay. Then and they So after that, there was a HR round where it was of around 20 to 30 minutes, and yeah, I mean, like, that was okay. I mean, I prepared some standard questions, and yeah, they discussed about each and every things that they do in organization, and that was it. I got a offer from Acolyte, but yeah, this is, but the process what I wanted to, for me, I am not saying for each and every candidate, but for me the process was really slow, because started in, I think, in July, and I got an offer in June 27th.
Mhm.
So as of I can remember, I got, on 7th I gave the coding test. On 22nd I gave the first technical round, and on, I think, next month in June I got, on 15th I gave the second technical round. On 22nd I gave the HR round, and on 27th I got the offer letter.
Okay, so
So
started in June and ended in July, end of
right.
July. Okay.
Right, right. So
Mhm.
the process was slow, but for some of the candidates, what I heard, it was really fast also. So it depends
Mhm.
upon what is going internally inside. So yeah.
Mhm. So we can head out to some FAQs. Does CGPA matter for Accolade?
No, no, no. I think it doesn't. Even not for Acolyte also, it doesn't matter for any sets of companies now. Those who hire off campus. I think 8 point. If you have a CGPA near to 8, that is fairly sufficient. I think that is not required now. Eventually, the guys who had a fair bit amount of CGPA also, they have landed in some medium level companies, and the guys who have lower CGPA also, they have landed in some really big companies. So
Right.
it doesn't matter according to me.
Right.
But just keep a mid, like it should be more than 8. That is enough.
Mhm. So during preparation, CP versus DSA versus development.
Yeah. So here, what I want to address, the things here as like, DSA and CP are totally different. Okay,
Mhm.
we cannot mix them up. CP is something which can improve your logic, and it
Mhm.
involves a lot of mathematical concepts also. Because when you will go on to courses and code courses, you will see the questions which, 2 3 questions are purely mathematical.
Mhm.
But in DSA, you will be having a lot of involvements of some of the other topics which are not asked in contest, right? For
Mhm.
example, trees questions or linked list questions, you will not get on, in these contests. But
Mhm.
in interviews, they are going to ask this.
Mhm.
So DSA and CP is totally different. And one thing is that there are few of the DSA questions that eventually, if you will not do, you will find yourself into trouble,
Mhm.
because these questions are those set of questions that if you have not seen, you will not be able to think at the time of interview.
Mhm.
So that is why it is instructed that we should be solving around 500 plus questions on DSA, so that to have a fair bit grasp on these questions. So yeah.
Mhm.
So ultimate, the basic goal is like, someone can do DSA. The only thing is, he don't have to see the solution. Just
Mhm.
proceed with the logic. If you are able to build the logic, there is no much important that you should proceed with CP only. Just take a question and rub your head on that particular question, and basically after some point of time, it it usually works.
Mhm.
Yeah. And development, if you will talk about, as of now, I am into this Pega team, and I am doing some of the development stuff. I think development is something that comes with experience. Whenever you are doing something, some few things will be there that will be coming with experience. A few bugs that you, as a fresher, you will not be able to solve, but the experienced candidates will be able to solve. And that is why
Mhm.
experienced candidates are more, paid in IT industry.
Mhm.
So that is one thing. It is about development. But when you know DSA and CP, internal working of whatever is happening in development, that things will be crystal clear. That is
Mhm.
what I experienced.
So yeah, is the interview only about solving the question, or is there more things that goes into making a higher decision?
Yeah. So Not only about solving questions, they check your personality also. They check like how do you talk, how do you sit, many things they do check, like are you able to trace the code, and if you are able to trace the code, are you able to convince the interviewer or not. If you are not able to convince the other person sitting to you, there is no point. Okay, because are you able to write the code, are you typing the code in camel case, these all things also eventually matters. It should not be like you wrote a void function and you return something, okay, in a hurry burry kind of a thing. So these things are like, they check all sort of things. If you are able to explain the code, and if your logic, what you are trying to explain, is crystal clear to the point, so most of the cases it does work. Yeah.
Okay. Does programming language matter for Acolyte?
For Acolyte, it doesn't matter. Okay, whatever you write in resume, that does matter. Okay, if you have written C++, Python, and if you have written some other languages also like Java, so if you have written that, then you can expect questions from the other end from any languages, right? But if you are comfortable in one language, you can proceed, and that doesn't matter with Acolyte. Yeah.
So, any suggestions you have for candidates before the interview, like if 1 month, 1 week is there?
Yeah, I will say that one thing that really helped me before interview, okay, that you should definitely go on to Geeks for Geeks forums, and you should definitely go on to Lead Code forums or any other forums, and you should read the articles. You should just see that what is the basically the pattern. Okay, because even if you have not done a fair bit of questions, and if you are able to understand the pattern, what
Okay.
they basically want, like from
Company-wise
which,
interview
yeah,
experiences.
right, like which topics they are they are more inclined towards. Like for example, if some company will be more inclined towards graphs, some company will be more inclined towards linked list.
Right.
So those set of questions that you need to solve, you need not take any random question and you should start solving,
Right. It need
because
not repeat the same question, but if you know the pattern or difficulty, we can prepare accordingly.
exactly. So
Yeah.
that eventually affects, if you have read the forums and after that you have filtered out the questions, some important set of questions, and you are solving and mugging up your head in that, that is totally fine. That works. But if you have taken some random question which is not relevant to the company, that is not, that may help you in long run, but for a shorter duration of time, it may not help.
Any suggestions for during interview?
Yeah, like during interview, what I personally feel is like we should be really humble, okay, because the person sitting which who is next to us, he have given a lot of interviews, he have given lot of interviews, he have taken lot of interviews. So you need to be humble, towards that person and towards whatever you are answering. Okay, and one thing in interview is also that you should be a good listener. Okay, that whatever he's saying, are you able to get those things or not? Because at some point of time, we want that we have done something and we want to show that we have done this thing, but eventually the questions will not, is not important that it will be related to it, right? So being a good listener, it eventually affects. Okay.
Okay. So, any suggestions for after interview?
Yeah, like I gave a lot of interviews off campus. So what I personally feel in off campus is, you give the interview, you prepare for the interview till the timeline, till you arrive on the interview date. You are done with the interview, however it is gone. You just stop seeing what can be results. You should not worry about results now, because there are high chances that you will not get a positive feedback. There are high chances that you can get a positive feedback. You should keep regularly checking your mails, but at the same point of time, you should not be worried about it, about a particular company. You should keep applying onto different sets of companies, and you should expect a positive reply for them. But after interview, you cannot hope that this they are going to reply eventually, because most of the companies or many of the companies, if they don't like your performance, they will not reply. So we need to we should not be worried about after the interview.
And also we should keep checking spam also along with the normal inbox. So sometimes
Right,
we
right,
find something
right.
there.
Yeah, this is one thing that is really important, that keep checking your spam mails and these all things, because most of the companies send mails and it goes to spam folder. And yeah, so you can ping them obviously sometimes, but if you are not getting a positive response, there is no point to worry. Okay, just apply in other companies and start preparing and give your interviews.
So any pro tips you would like to share?
Yeah, like to juniors, I will say that just don't focus on few things, that just don't focus on the quantities of questions. Okay, this is also about the quality. Okay, take few amount of questions and rub your head onto it. Okay, this actually works. Okay, because if you improve your logic, that is only required. DSA is only a kind of thing that it will land you into some other companies. After that, the involvement of it becomes drastically less. Uh, Eventually, when you proceed towards the development, you proceed towards the Jira and the task that the company will assign you. So, till since it is a task, so that task has to be done. Then you have to rub your head onto some good quality questions, and that will eventually explode your thinking, and you can then proceed with some other good interviews and can crack them. That is what
Yeah.
I will suggest. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important to maintain a balance. Sometimes people spend like days together, weeks together on the same problem, or
Yeah.
sometimes they do a lot
Yeah.
of problems in one day. So
Right.
balance may be important.
Yeah. Yeah. It is like, if you have a shorter period of time, there is no point rubbing your head onto some particular question. Give your 20 minutes, and after that you can go on to discuss forums, and you can see 2 3 lines, and then you can understand. But if you have, for the guys who are in first year or second year, who have eventually a lot of time, where the placements are really far, they can take their time and can do some good quality questions that will work for them. But the guys who are in the third year, who are going to sit for placements, they should also feel like they have less time and how they can utilize it. And at that point of time, they should look for solutions also, and can try to solve that particular question, and not getting your most of the time in the same single question.
Right.
Right.
So what do you have to say about role of luck?
Role of luck, it actually matters. Okay, I mean, like, um, um, it matters a lot. I mean, if you are giving interview, if you are taking interview, and if you have a lot of work, okay, and your mood is not good, and you can ask some questions to the candidate who is sitting in front of you, you know uh, depending upon whatever what mood you have, right? If your mood is really good, you can ask some questions which is really easy, and it is helpful to it depends upon the interviewer also, like how much they are trying to help. Okay, because after giving some logical hints also, the candidate is able to do that particular question, right? So in these all cases, luck matters. Like what interviewers you got, whether you got the interviewer who is a competitive programmer, or whether you got an interviewer who is a developer, who has most of the things he have done in development side. So that also matters, whatever you have done in your resume. And if you have done a lot of programming, if you got a developer, so these all things do matter, and that all consists of a luck, and it will come to you. So luck eventually matters, I will say.
So can you share a bit about your onboarding, internship, and work from home experience, and how it's in office right now and all?
Yeah. So my internship started in 17th of January, where we had some of the induction program. After that, there was a spring AU training of Acolyte, which was good only. Like, but I personally find that when the internship is there, since that was a kind of a COVID period, at that point of time it was totally vanishing. So they didn't open the office. But I personally feel that internship should be there in offline mode, because now I am in Bangalore. I am going to Morgan's office. I have seen my colleagues working there till 8 p.m. and or 9 p.m. It usually pushes you that how they are doing, how they are pushing the code in code into production. And uh, eventually in offline mode, even if you will ping them, they will respond. In online mode, there are chances that they are not near to their system every time. So in offline mode, a candidate learns a lot. A candidate can can learn a lot of things. And yeah, so my personal experience is like in internship, at least internship should be there in offline mode.
I think that's all we have planned for this session. Thank you, Nishant, for being with us.
Thank you, Shashank. Thanks a lot.